coding wasn't something I just started off passionate about. It was boring, mechanical in the beginning. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how coding grew on me. I'm actually filming today from Taipei, Taiwan, as I'm doing some travels. I'm in the Jimin area and it's been rainy the past couple of days and forecasted to rain throughout the week. So that's where I'm at now. And I just wanted to talk to you today about more of my coding journey, because before I even learned how to code, I'll get excited daydreaming about different startup ideas, inspired by Shark Tank, thinking, oh, this will be a cool app idea. And for the jobs I've had, wouldn't it be cool if we can automate this? And then in 2020, I finally decided to code. Because before, I didn't have the skills to make it happen. So then once I started to code, I began my journey watching YouTube tutorials and reading documentation. And I just found this kind of boring. Reading documentation was kind of dry. It was like reading a textbook manual and you're just following along with what it says. And then with the YouTube videos, especially the early basic ones, it was so mundane. It was like, this is how you add in Python. This is what a variable is. This is what a function it is. It was just like step-by-step kind of thing where I didn't really appreciate it. I didn't understand what you can do with it. It was just like, this is how you do this. So I thought I should do an immersive experience to really think like a developer. So I signed up for a coding bootcamp. But when I started this bootcamp, I just felt so stressed by like how fast-paced things were. We were learning things, and then we quickly implement things. But the knowledge didn't really sink in. I was just doing things just to get by, just to get the assignments done, not fully understanding what was going on. And then once I finished the coding bootcamp, I started studying coding interview problems, studying leak code. And then this was even more boring. I was thinking, what was the point of this? These were like math problems, but for code, they required a lot of my thinking power to figure out how to solve them. One problem I would use up like 2 days to solve one leak code problem. People would say it was easy, but even the easy problems weren't easy. So it was just like a grind. Like I would have to like drink a coffee before doing a problem. I never really got into a flow state. And then when I started applying for jobs, I would like dread having technical interviews with other engineers. Sorry, there's a bus coming up. But when I was have coding interviews with engineers, I would dread it because they will kind of like poke holes in my projects and realize that I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just kind of like copied around to get by with the projects I had. And I would just get so nervous with any live coding interview. And ultimately, like I would fail every single one of my interviews. So given all of these rejections, these failures, I reflected. I looked back at I paid attention and thought about like my coding bootcamp colleagues, because there are a few of them that actually did get jobs after finishing their bootcamp. And I thought about how they were. And I noticed that they were all curious. They would go to all the office hours to get as much help as they can for their projects. They would ask questions all the time during class. And the projects they've done, they didn't do just the bare minimum to get by. They went above and beyond to do a good job with the projects and understand of what was going on. So I took note of this and I shifted my focus. Instead of focus on just like the end result I wanted, like to get the job, to pass the coding interview, to code up this project, I shifted it to learning as much as I can, to enjoying the process. For example, like when I would watch coding interviews, I didn't just pay attention to you do X to get Y. I paid attention to how they thought. How did they even come up with the solution they had? When I interacted with other developers, I would constantly ask them questions on things I didn't know. Instead of before, I would just nod, pretend like, oh, okay, that's how it is. I wouldn't do that anymore. I would ask to make sure that I fully understood of what was going on. And by shifting my focus, I enjoyed learning. It was kind of fun to me. The more I learned, the more I'll be able to connect the dots between different technologies from different code. It was fun like solving these coding problems, something that before I would just dread. And then when I would have a coding interviews, I liked talking with other engineers. It was kind of fun, like I saw it as a learning opportunity, so I can learn from how they thought about it. So these technical conversations I had would be enjoyable for me. And with all this, I started passing my interviews because engineers saw my passion. They saw that I was competent. They saw that I was curious. So I went from getting rejected to all my interviews to starting to get offers. So ultimately, I just saw coding as like an art form, as a way to express myself. Because when you code the software, people use it that don't understand code. They don't appreciate the code that was written. But I have like this internal satisfaction knowing that I created this elegant code for a problem that no one using it will ever appreciate. So I use all of this today during my freelance web development business, where I shifted my focus from thinking of startup ideas to getting excited of how to make startup ideas, make app ideas into reality. I think of it like a puzzle, connecting different APIs, different technologies and creating my own custom APIs to create an elegant solution to solve a business need. So that's it. That's how coding evolved into a passion for me, as it didn't start off with it. Stay tuned for more videos of me talking about my journey and how I use what I've learned so far to develop freelance projects. Thank you for watching.